All right, welcome back to the Sooner Surge. This Sunday afternoon today. Going to talk about a special play at OU. He's going to go down as a legend at OU, and that's Drake Stoops. Before we get started, click the subscribe button, join what's going on with the Sooner Surge, be a part of it. Great things ahead. And guys, Drake Stoops, what he's done the last 2 weeks, phenomenal. I mean, it's one of the best performances from an OU wide receiver in a recent history. I mean, it really is. The stats he's putting up, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and just really his ability to get open that he's been known for in his whole career, right? He's been known as kind of a route runner, really kind of maybe your like possession wide receiver. But now he's taken even that step to where they're using him down the field more than what we were accustomed to see him used, right? You see him, he's getting explosive plays, and there's really nothing he can't do. He's going to find himself in the NFL most likely having a pretty long career just due to the kind of player he is, right? There's some maybe comparisons to Hunter Renfrow, to Cole Beasley, guys like that. But, he's an extremely talented player, someone that's emerged since Andrew Anthony got hurt, and I would consider him the wide receiver one on this team right now.
Yeah, I think with Stoops, what makes it even more impressive what he's done the last 2 weeks is everyone knows he's getting the ball. It's constant. Everyone knows that in big time plays, big time moments are going to look to him. And outside of that 1 4th down debacle, that call, he's still getting open. He's almost impossible to guard. Not only that, his yak is better than anyone else on the team. Okay. He's not a guy that anyone thought would run away from people or be able to get by a lot of people. He continually does so. And this is last night's performance is after his 11 catch game the week before. So you'd think, and not only that, after the comments he made throughout the week. So to me, to be able to back up what you say, that's what it was. He talks the talk and he walks the walk. There's no one like Drake Stoops.
Yeah, Drake Stoops has caught 22 passes over the last 2 weeks. Now he's first in the Big 12 in receptions with 62. The next highest is 59. Back-to-back 130-yard plus performances. Had 134 against Oklahoma State and then 164 last night with that just electric. Jeremy mentions the run after catch. To be able to make the cut, stay in bounds, and then drag a guy into the end zone too. It was a special night for Drake Stoops, and it's crazy to think that was his last game at the Palace on a Saturday.
Well, and the receptions on the year, 62. That's the first one at OU to do it, to get 60 since CeeDee Lamb. That's pretty impressive. And guys, I think he's getting 1,000 yards receiving this year. Nothing tells me he's not going to. The next 2 games,
he's at 692.
What's he got?
He's at 692.
So about 150 a game.
Yeah, 154 per game, which that's a lot. His career high is 164. Yeah, if OU somehow makes the Big 12 championship, which we'll have a video about that out later, that's another game, and then the bowl game would be included as well for Stoops. So possibly up to 4 games to get 308 yards.
It's happening.
Well, you know one thing that's not going to happen. You mentioned the bowl game. Drake Stoops isn't going to sit that out. I promise you that. He's not going to opt out like some of these other guys do. He's going to play because that's who he is. But guys, viewers, I'd like for you guys to drop something in the chat about where does Drake Stoops rank? We could say all time, but let's say maybe the last 20 years in receivers at OU. Who's above him?
CeeDee Lamb, obviously.
I mean, you could say Sterling Shepard,
D.D. Westbrook, Ryan Broyles, Kenny Stills. I mean, outside of that,
I don't
more.
think Kenny Stills.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. It depends on what he does the last 3 games, where he lands as far as, I guess you could say, in the record books at OU, if you look at yards and things like that. But obviously, in the heart, he's probably number 1, maybe, for Sooner fans. And not just because of who his dad is. I mean, the guy is elite at what he stands for on the field, in the weight room, in the off season. Guys, I mean, you would want any of your kids to model after Drake Stoops.
Yeah, it's one of the best stories in college football, honestly. He's a semifinalist for the Burlsworth Award given to the top walk-on in the country, honoring Brandon Burlsworth, who the movie Greater was made after from when he was offensive lineman at Arkansas, walk-on there. And Stoops he had scholarship offers. I think at one point a lot of people thought he was going to go to like Iowa State. He was a 3-star out of high school at Norman North, turned down all the scholarship offers to walk on at OU. Everyone knows who his dad is. He grew up at OU, playing at the Everest Training Center with his twin brother Isaac, who both walked on initially out of high school from Norman North. And then to be able to go from Bob Stoops' son to Drake Stoops to like it's not even fair to necessarily call him Bob's son because he's built his own legacy here with what he has done. Like, yeah, he has the same last name and his dad's one of the best coaches in OU history, but that doesn't matter. Drake Stoops has earned everything he's got at Oklahoma to now on scholarship.
You know what? Jackson mentioned some guys he compared him to in the NFL, but you know who I compare him to? Not a certain player. He's almost like a tight end in the fact that big plays, possessions. He's a very good possession. If Dylan Gabriel needs a third down, it's like a reliable tight end. You're going to throw it to him. Except he's a receiver and he can make plays after it with his feet. But he's very much in that type of like for a quarterback. He's that guy that he's going to be open. And he put a couple guys last night in a blender. I mean, they turned around three times on the route. It's just like ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think that there's no teammate or anyone that you would rather want to have on your team than Drake Stoops. The man, he represents Oklahoma. He wears it on his chest. He wears it on his heart. I bet if you searched inside his soul, man, you'd see OU somewhere in there, man. Just as I said, there's no other guy you would rather have on your team than Drake Stoops.
Yeah, I got a name kind of as a comparison. Kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts on kind of an undersized guy, plays in the slot and just a possession receiver like what Stoops. Older guy, Steve Largent from Tulsa. He reminds me a lot of him in the way that he's undersized. You can make the guys miss, runs really good routes, and it's just money when the ball's getting targeted.
Yeah,
and
he's
hauling it in pretty much every single time.
He is a comparison, and they're both Okie guys, Oklahoma guys. And Largent, yeah, size-wise, probably pretty similar. It's just no one mentions Largent because he's kind of old school. And I tell you, Drake has it in him. And guys, we got to stop saying that Drake Stoops is some kind of poor boy's receiver. Okay,
yeah,
he's not. He's talented. Okay, he's not just some scrub. Ask any DB who's tried to guard him. Ask the guy who tried to target him last night and taunt him afterwards. Okay, you can't guard him. He's unguardable. You better put 2 on him or box him in, and he still might be able to juke his way out of there. Drake Stoops has cemented himself in the lore of the Sooner receiver, and I'm excited to see what the next few weeks hold, and if he can get to that 1,000, and if he does, it's already been phenomenal, but he's only adding to his legacy week in, week out. And Drake Stoops, again, guys, we want you guys to comment. Where is he ranking in your record books as far as Sooner receivers? Drop it in the chat and make sure you have subscribed to our channel, The Sooner Surge on YouTube. Appreciate all you guys. Till next time. Boomer.
Boomer.